Hi everyone, Happy New Year. This is your monthly video, Patreon video. I just thought I'd give you a heads up what's been going on. As far as rewards go, I finished the head turnarounds for all 4 of the girls for the comic I'm working on. So let's see if I can get this working here. So here's Arya's head turn, looking down, looking straight ahead, and looking up. And this hair was a pain in the neck, I can tell you that. Okay, so then I got this header picture for the clothes and drapery chapter that I'm working on, which I have done absolutely 0 drawings for. Then we've got Kelsey Diviner looking down, again crazy hair thing, looking straight across and looking up. And this was my rough sketch of my tight drawing that for this month's postcard. So this is going to be this month's postcard. So if you notice that this postcard is different than the original digital design, I decided I had some other decisions I wanted to make. Once I was ready to do the inking, I was looking at it and I decided not to do exactly what I had roughed out digitally. So I ended up doing one more extra pass, which was this, and then I inked it. And so when I inked it, I have these like rough markings on the postcard. Like you could see the strokes here, and then if you look inside the body here, we have the strokes here and across here and in here. And so I had these strokes, and I really kind of ended up liking how rough it looked. And so when I went back to the digital, I was like, man, this digital looks too perfect. And so I went in and I actually literally added, I added strokes into it to make it look more organic, like my organic hand-drawn inked postcard. I decided to actually add that organic feel to it with a special pen that I created just so that I could have these strokes that kind of simulate what I tend to do when I actually ink on paper. So I'm going to give you, so everybody's going to get the digital version of the postcard, but this month's lucky patron will actually get the actual postcard itself, the physical hand-drawn postcard that I inked, I hand inked myself and drew myself. So feet. So finishing the feet thing. So Remy, who used to be a patron and I used to coach, but he told me, he pointed out that my ankles, the way that I had the ankles slanted going this way was actually anatomically incorrect, and he was right. I wasn't paying attention. The ankles should slant this way, not this way. So I'm gonna have to go back and redraw all the ankles in every single drawing for my how to draw ankles bit in all the feet, and it's gonna be a pain in the neck. So I'm gonna be doing that next week. I'm thinking I'm gonna be doing that instead of my usual warm-up drawing. I'm just gonna be fixing ankles until all those ankles are fixed, and then I'm going to re-upload all the ankles and all those drawings, re-upload them onto the post, so when it actually gets published officially in a couple of weeks, that all the ankles are correctly slanted. So that's going to be a pain. Yeah, I don't think there's anything wrong with these, but this is the last of the feet drawings. So you're gonna see some of this, and this is, believe it or not, was something I did during my Christmas break. So a friend of mine got into some storyboard problems, and I had a week off, and I was able to catch up to some of my coaching. I started working on the Patreon video that I'm doing, not like this, but the intro video, the one that's supposed to go on my intro page when you get to my Patreon. I'm going to be doing a video similar to this, but explaining what my Patreon's all about. And I was working on that, and I was doing a lot of I had time to actually work on the things that I needed to work on. And then a friend of mine calls me up on Tuesday asking me if I could help him out with boards that have gone south. It's just things just didn't quite go the way he wanted. He had a person helping him do the boards, and they were new and they didn't quite know what they were doing. So he said, "Can you help me just adjust and fix some of these shots?" And I said, "Okay, sure." So on Wednesday I went down there, and he had 12 script pages worth of fixes, and every single shot in the entire thing needed to be fixed. And if you don't know what that means, a Simpsons board usually is 15 pages for one single act. An act break is, like between the opening credits and the first commercial break. And that's what's considered an act. And 15 pages is about how much a storyboard artist gets to do as an assignment. And and that storyboard artist has about 4 weeks to finish that board. 3.5 weeks to finish that board, to finish storyboarding 15 pages. Well, he had 12 pages that needed to be thumbnailed, and thumbnail was basically this, just kind of like, what are the shots supposed to look like? It didn't have to be a finished board, but thumbnailing a board usually takes, at least if you're doing 15 pages, it usually takes about a day or two, and just work it all out before you actually go and do the final pass. And it also depends on the amount of work. Well, this was a lot of work, and it was my vacation. So by the time I didn't get home until midday to start working on this, and on Wednesday, and I worked on it most of the evening on Wednesday. Then from 9 a.m. Thursday at 9 a.m. to Friday at 3 a.m. non-stop, just finishing these thumbnails to fix these boards. And after that, I was done. No more personal projects, no more editing anything, no more feedback videos, nothing. I was just fried. I didn't want to look at a drawing. I didn't want to think about drawing. I didn't want anything to do with drawing at all. It was just, it killed all the energy I had. It killed all the creativity I had. It killed all the ambition I had. I was dead. I was dead after this. So I am sharing with you all the work I did, and you're going to see that it doesn't look like anything. It's just scribbles. But this is what a storyboard thumbnail usually looks like. We're just planning out shots, how things work. I wrote down notes on these sheets, advising and telling them what I did. When it says HL, it means horizon line. So I did a lot of lowering horizon line. I found out through my coaching and through just seeing other people's work who are starting out and doing this sort of thing, that everybody seems to want to do this isometric down shots about over everything. Don't do that. Don't fool yourself. Don't Isometric down shots aren't good shots. They're occasionally good. Establishing shots and making sure that they're occasionally good to set up where everybody's located in an establishing shot, or if it's important to make sure you show where everybody's oriented. But for the most part, most of the time, if you want to show where everybody's oriented and how close everybody is to each other, you could lower the camera, be more subjective, and be in the shot with everybody and show where everybody's oriented within the shot instead of the camera being over here, being completely objective. It's really unnatural. We don't want to do that. So a lot of this stuff, lower high, you're going to see lower HL, lower HL, lower HL, because all of these things were really high up and didn't make any sense to have high horizon lines. So, or flat comic strip things. If you're doing a comic strip and it's just a gag strip and you're not necessarily dealing with a lot of like fancy compositions or anything, that's fine, whatever. You know, you're doing the Far Side, doesn't matter. But if you're doing like a show, if you're doing some kind of cinema, then you don't want everything to be flat comic strips, one character next to the other character talking blah 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 like this. You don't want that. You kind of want the over the shoulder, you know, you want the close up, it has to be extreme, you know, like, hey, how you doing, you know. And so you kind of want to do that instead of characters standing talking like that, you know. You just don't want that. So and even in action, if you can have some kind of depth to an action. So that's what I was doing. Here I let these two characters be side to side because I really didn't use that shot so very often. And in this case it was okay because we had avoided doing those shots for so long. One shot like that on occasion, that works. But for the most part we were doing, I was trying to add depth. So this is the just really rough thumbnail. This is just ideas for the shots, so that when they went to do the boards, they had something to work with that was that had better compositions. So I was just thinking about compositions. For example, this shot right here, the original shot was everybody straight on looking at the camera. So this person was here, there's this person here, there's a person in the middle here, and they were all looking up at the stage. And it's all flat, like it's just completely flat. So what I did was I just raked it. I just raked this shot so that the characters were looking in that screen right, to characters who were looking screen left, who were up on a balcony up here, which was more on model than the way that he had originally set up, which was they were not even on they were like on a stage, but the stage was had a step, when the background clearly showed that the balcony was up high above everybody's heads and stuff like that. So I was just doing. And so here we've got more shots like that. So this is the kind of thing that I mean, it took me till from 9 a.m. to 3 a.m. the next day to do this, just straight. And that was me, and that was after I thumbnailed the script. See, and this is how I come up with ideas when I get a script, and then I just start. I read the script and I just start doodling all over my script, coming up with ideas, and then the ones that work, that's when I put them on the board. But in this case, because the ideas, I wasn't gonna do the board myself. I was only coming up with these thumbnails. I couldn't just show them these really rough things because they wouldn't understand. It was just chicken scratch to that. It would just be strict chicken scratch. You wouldn't understand. You wouldn't understand what I was going for. And the thumbnails are all over my script. They're all over the place. And some of them are false starts. You know. No, that's not working. No, that's not working. Oh, I missed this note. Oh, I didn't do this right. Oh, this doesn't look quite right. How about this? How about this? How about this? So just scribbles all over the place. So just doing this took me a day, and then the other half of the day I was translating these scribbles into something that looks like this. That it's still not tight, but hopefully it reads better. So I'm sharing these things with you so that you guys can know what the storyboarding process tends to look like. And I can't share the script because it's not mine to share, but I could share these thumbnails, even though they're out of context. And so, yeah, so then you got these head turns. So that's what I'm going to be doing. No more head turns after this. Now I'm going to start doing some writing for the comic. I'm going to probably start doing some pinups for all the ladies just to get my head around what they would look like in poses. Just to get a feel of the look of the comic, how I'm going to do it. So I'm going to just have the, do, pinups of them just being cool. And I'm not saying they're going to be like typical cheesecake pinups. I'm just, what I mean is that they're going to be like cool posters of them being cool. Like I'll come up with something. I just want to show that these ladies are like, it's an adventure comic, but it's a comedy. So I just want to show what hopefully it'll show their personalities and also the feel of the place, because it's going to be steampunky in nature, with magic. So it's going to be a steampunk sorcery combination, and so I'm excited about it, and I'll probably end up getting to that after I fix all those ankles. So that's just the update. And speaking of, okay, so I'm going to let you know who won this month's postcard, and that would be Aaron Garcia. Aaron, congratulations. I believe that I have your address. If I don't, then I will ask you for it. Otherwise, congratulations. You get to win this postcard of Raven that I like so much I want to keep, but it is yours. And my daughter wants to keep it because she's a fan of Raven. But anyway, thank you for watching. Thank you for being my patron. I really appreciate it. And I will see you next time. All right, bye.